Andrew Parker Bowles is Camilla Parker Bowles's ex-husband, although you probably don't know anything about him. Indeed, the couple's divorce was finalized eons ago. Here is all the information you need regarding the guy who married the Duchess of Cornwall before to Prince Charles. King Charles and Queen Camilla's story has polarized the nation for decades. However, there was one man who stood behind the scenes of that famous love triangle, calm, collected, and frequently disregarded. William Parker Bowles, Jr. There was glitz, drama, and secrecy during their 20-year marriage. Andrew has broken his silence after nearly 30 years to reveal the truth about their marital breakup. From the start, Camilla and Andrew's marriage was fraught with difficulties. The majority of individuals were surprised by it. Was it a broken secret, a subtle animosity, or a betrayal? Who or what caused the man who had been Camilla's sidekick to abandon her? Come with us as we speak with the man at the center of everything to reveal the long-hidden truth. A tale of first love. At a gathering in 1965, Andrew met Camilla Shand for the first time. For a while, it appeared like their relationship was taking a serious turn when they hit it off right away. But there were highs and lows, as there are for many young couples. Welcome, Penny Jr., author of the new unofficial biography on Camilla, according to royal biographer Penny Jr. When Andrew started seeing Princess Anne, things became more complex. They broke up because of that swerve in their relationship. In her work, The Duchess, Jr. alludes to the scandalous romance between Camilla Parker Bowles and the Queen. Camilla might never have dated Prince Charles if Andrew hadn't pursued the princess. After some time apart, Andrew and Camilla were able to reconnect. They were engaged by early 1973, after their relationship revived. One of the most talked-about society weddings of the decade took place on July 4th that year when Andrew wed Camilla. Nearly 800 people, including prominent members of the royal family like Princess Margaret, Princess Anne, and the Queen Mother, attended the ceremony at the Guards' Chapel at Wellington Barracks, London. The guest list revealed Andrew's tight relationship to the royal family, even though the wedding was Roman Catholic to honor his faith. Andrew was a page boy at the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II, and his parents had been acquainted with the Queen Mother for a long time. That Andrew was able to secure the position of page at the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II. Prince Charles was already the romantic interest of Camilla at that time, even if it was still early in the book. A stunning white gown adorned with silk voile balloon sleeves and a ruffled neckline escorted Camilla down the aisle. This stunning cubit shand tiara had been passed down through many generations of ladies in her family, and its dramatic foot-length veil complemented it. The tiara was passed down through the generations. When their daughter Laura wed Harry Lopes in 2006, she wore it. St. James's Palace played host to the wedding reception, a glitzy affair that further cemented Andrew and Camilla's place in the upper crust. Andrew, a seasoned officer who rose to the rank of brigadier in the British Army, wed Camilla at Middlewick House, a picturesque Georgian mansion in Wiltshire, and the couple began their married life together. Tom, who was born in 1974 and would go on to become a famous food writer, and Laura, who was born in 1978 and would go on to become a prominent curator in the art world, were both raised by them. That Prince Charles becoming Tom's godfather was one of the most startling ties throughout their marriage. It was a subtle detail that suggested at how connected their lives already were. A peculiar godfather, several accusations of infidelity. After more than 20 years of marriage, Andrew and Camilla decided to divorce in 1995. They parted ways in a civil and amicable manner, closing a major chapter in their lives. Lola and Freddie Parker Bowles, Eliza, Lewis, and Gus Lopes, their children and 5 grandkids, helped keep their friendship strong. The Crown, a Netflix original series, later portrayed their journey with all the royal complications, public scrutiny, and dramatic turns, especially the 3rd season. Prior to the public's focus on Camilla's royal future, it depicted an important period in Andrew's life. Where did this lovely love story go? An amicable separation. Andrew Parker Bowles and Camilla Parker Bowles formally decided to separate after more than 20 years of marriage. Legal counsel for the family verified long-held suspicions with their pronouncement. The couple's relationship had subtly come to an end. Andrew and Camilla revealed in a joint statement released via their attorneys that they had been cohabitating for 2 years. The couple reportedly came to the conclusion that they no longer shared many values and priorities, which led to their mutual choice to divorce. Noting that their lives had diverged, they said that this was the deciding factor. Through thick and thin, he remained dependable and private throughout his marriage, avoiding the spotlight whenever possible. Andrew acknowledged that, despite being a relationship for a long time and even starting a family together, their goals and interests shifted throughout the years. As they eventually started living apart, the emotional gulf became a practical one. Their attorneys brought up the fact that the divorce was supposed to go smoothly according to English law, without a doubt. The process is expected to be completed by the end of the month, considering the couple's agreement and the fact that they had been apart for over 2 years. After Andrew Parker Bowles wed Queen Camilla, he may have moved on. For a long time, their marriage was the subject of much whispered curiosity. After the press started following Andrew around like a bug, he started hiding his identity and his family life. The media's rumors failed to influence him, and he chose to bring up the facts alone when absolutely required to do so. A big shift occurs in Andrew Parker Bowles' life in this chapter. The family they built together is vital to him even now that he is moving on. What continues to unite them are the shared experiences and the many years they spent together. Andrew felt neither remorse nor guilt about what had transpired. It required coming to terms with the fact that there will be moments when people have nothing in common, as well as the choice to part ways politely. However, did the divide involve more than what is immediately apparent? Why the split occurred in the first place? The early 1990s were a time of great scandal and shame for the British royal family. Although Prince Charles and Camilla Parker Bowles received most of the media attention, Andrew Parker Bowles, Camilla's husband at the time, was the real star, who took the brunt of the humiliation that comes from being betrayed in front of everyone. The issue began in 1993 when a private phone conversation between Camilla and Prince Charles was leaked to the media. In 1989, the meeting took place. However, it wasn't until much later that the details were made public. After the transcript was made public, it became the center of attention for news outlets and tabloids. The call quickly became known as Camilla Gate, after it confirmed the allegations about Prince Charles and Camille had been accurate. A lot of individuals were horrified by the call's contents. Their remarks made it very clear that the relationship between Charles and Camilla went much beyond friendship. Those close to the incident, like Andrew, were distraught, while the public was stunned by the conversation. Royal analyst Wayne Francis claims that Andrew felt tremendous shame as a result of the disclosure. Francis elaborated on how Andrew could hardly pretend the controversy had never happened because of how public the scandal was. Reportedly, he felt subjected to an extreme degree of scrutiny and ridicule, on top of being betrayed by his wife. Being such a pivotal member of the royal family, Andrew and his loved ones took a heavy hit following the incident. After all, he had attended royal occasions, served the monarchy, and had intimate familial ties to the king and queen. The humiliation was more severe when no one was around. According to those in the know, Andrew was absolutely fuming mad, not only at Camilla, but also at the thought that the whole nation was now privy to something so personal and distressing. The leaked recording was the subject of tabloid headlines and late-night laughs. It was a time of profound shame for Andrew, nevertheless. Now it was more than just idle chatter. He was witnessing the real-time breakdown of his life. The affair seemed to be the last straw for Andrew and Camilla, even though they had allegedly been drifting apart before it broke. Family and friends gave the impression that he was unable to hide his shame or keep up the appearance of a happy marriage. Many felt the harm had already been done before the divorce papers were ever filed, even though the actual divorce wouldn't be finalized until 1995. The reality was obvious. Despite Camilla and Andrew's best efforts to maintain a respectful separation, the scandal had severed a marriage in addition to shaking the monarchy. Andrew Parker Bowles took a silent but severe toll, and although history has concentrated on Charles and Camilla's eventual union, it shouldn't be forgotten. If Camilla's treachery caused Andrew to break their marriage, then why did the guy she betrayed her remain by her side throughout? It was a grandeur event. A profound, undisclosed bond existed between Charles and Camilla long before the leaked phone call. This bond persisted through each of their marriages. Rather than starting with light-hearted banter and a shared sense of humor, their romance blossomed into something more serious and committed. Camilla Schand and Prince Charles first met in the early 1970s. According to some accounts, Lucia Santa Cruz, the daughter of the Chilean ambassador, was instrumental in arranging their first meeting in 1971. Charles, a youthful prince in his early 20s, who had recently completed his naval school, and Camilla, a woman 2 years his senior, were already well known in London for their charisma, wit, and ease in the company of the upper class. According to several royal biographers, the two hit it off right away. According to several accounts, Charles was captivated by her amiability, sense of humor, and lack of pretentiousness, a stark contrast to the stuffy affairs he frequently attended. According to popular belief, they began dating shortly after meeting, if not immediately. However, they never were engaged, despite the intense romantic and emotional connection they shared. A number of factors might be at play here. Not everyone in the royal family thought Camilla would make a good queen. She wasn't considered very aristocratic, and her relationships with people outside the family were considered as scandalous. Charles was required to travel frequently for his naval duty. The Prince of Wales, Duck, HMS Norfolk, a brand new vessel of the Royal Navy. That is why they had a hard time settling down for the long haul. Camilla and Andrew Parker Bowles got back together and eventually tied the knot while Charles was away. Camilla and Charles's relationship did not cease with their marriage. Actually, they maintained close communication and a deep emotional connection. What started off as a carefree romance blossomed into a stable, intimate friendship between them over time. Even when Charles was wed to Princess Diana, Camilla was still seeing Andrew, yet they were very close. Rumor has it that the affair involved more than just physical contact, according to those in the know. Even as the royal spotlight shone brighter, an emotional bond formed between them that they were unable to break. According to some who knew the couple, Camilla became a confidant to Charles during his darkest hours. He could rely on her because of their shared past, similar ideologies, and the natural fit between them. They put a lot of effort into keeping up a positive public image, but their hidden relationship was known only to those closest to them. However, Andrew Parker was more than simply a victim of an adulterous marriage. The image of Andrew Parker Bowles as the oppressed husband, whose wife had an affair with the future King of England, tends to pop up whenever the lengthy and tumultuous relationship between Prince Charles and Camilla Parker Bowles is discussed. The one who was abandoned. But history makes it clear that we must be honest. Andrew Parker Bowles was far from perfect either. According to reports, Andrew and Camilla were both adulterous during their marriage. Even though Andrew's sexual behavior caused some to wonder, Camilla's affair with Charles was the main story that rocked the monarchy. It would appear that the husband and wife had an unsaid arrangement behind the scenes. Their household didn't exactly enforce monogamy. Camilla was head over heels with her husband when they tied the knot in 1973. According to friends and royal biographers, she truly thought that Andrew, who was renowned for his charisma, self-assurance, and immense popularity among women, would finally find a life partner. Renowned royal writer Penny Junor claims that Camilla believed she could transform him. According to Junior, Camilla was under the impression that Andrew was the one who would fulfill all of her wildest dreams. She thought her heart had finally found a home with him. However, as events progressed, it became glaringly obvious that Andrew had no intention of giving up his bachelor lifestyle merely because he had stated so. Even before he wed Camilla, Andrew had a reputation for being a real charmer. Even after they tied the marriage, their reputation remained almost unchanged. Several accounts even indicate that he had an affair with Rosemary Pittman, which was quite serious, while they were married. There was more to this than a casual romance. After Andrew's marriage to Camilla ended, he and Rosemary remained close. He wed Rosemary in 1996, not long after his divorce. Rosemary Parker Bowles, with whom he wed a year following his divorce from Camilla. The romance between Rosemary and Andrew received less media attention than a royal wedding. The fact that they remained together until her death in 2010 attests to the profound impact she had on his life. The fact that Andrew didn't seem too concerned when he found out that Camilla was still quite close to Prince Charles is both intriguing and disturbing. People in the couple's social circle have noticed that Andrew didn't act like a typical betrayed husband would. On the contrary, he didn't appear to be surprised in the least. He might have rationalized it as an inevitable aspect of their elite social circle, where individual autonomy frequently took precedence over allegiance. Some people who keep tabs on royal families think Andrew and Camilla were married informally, if not openly. Their social circles were characterized by a high degree of secrecy and an acceptance of adultery as a common occurrence. Despite being just as telling, Andrew's actions remained mostly unseen until Camilla's affair with Charles became public and eclipsed everything else. What we thought we knew about the plot gets an unsettling twist because of this. Not everyone who broke the rules of marriage was Camilla, and Andrew did it frequently as well. However, Camilla continued to be the center of attention due to Charles's involvement. Even while he sought out his personal romantic interests, Andrew kept up his public persona. During his marriage to Camilla, Parker Bowles had multiple extramarital romances, including with Camilla's acquaintances. Even though Andrew was more discreet about his indiscretions than Camilla, that doesn't make him innocent. Despite the glitz and glamour of their marriage, it was far from ideal. It was based on tangled feelings, unfulfilled hopes, and the possibility that they would never completely belong to each other. Who exactly is breaking the rules when both partners are participating in the identical game? After his 1995 divorce from Camilla, Andrew Parker Bowles didn't exactly disappear into oblivion or remain single for very long. He wed his lifelong companion, Rosemary Alice Pitt, in 1996, barely a year after they started dating. Lieutenant Colonel John Hugh Pittman was Rosemary's husband, and the couple produced 3 kids together. Rosemary was born on June 17, 1940. Apparently, she dated Andrew for a long time, even before he got a divorce. Camilla and their bond had already deepened by the time they tied the knot. Andrew and Rosemary had a close-knit marriage characterized by mutual respect and companionship. The pair was stable and had good chemistry, according to friends and family. They remained together for over a decade, despite speculation over the beginnings of their relationship. They demonstrated their maturity and social connection by combining the proper behavior of aristocrats with a kind tenderness. Andrew and Camilla maintained a relationship even after their divorce. Andrew and Rosemary were present to see the long-awaited wedding of Prince Charles and Camilla in 2005. Just being there demonstrated how much their history was appreciated and how decency and respect persisted amongst everyone. Rosemary passed away in January 2010 from complications stemming from her disease. When news broke that Rosemary had died of cancer in January of 2010, it was a rare and heartbreaking update on the couple. Since Andrew had been his wife for more than 15 years, his loss was particularly devastating, and I was her partner for a long time. Many prominent members of Britain's elite attended the funeral service at Malmesbury's St. Aldhelm's Catholic Church. Princess Anne, who has known Andrew and Camilla for a long time, was there, which shows how highly Rosemary was esteemed. The same year, in March, Rosemary's memorial service was held at the Guards' Chapel. Plus, Camilla was also present. We were reminded of the complex and occasionally difficult ties among this British nobility by her presence at the memorial. Andrew was out of the spotlight for a while. In December 2023, He made headlines once again, this time with a romantic twist. Rumor has it that Andrew has been seeing Anne Robinson, formerly hosted the popular UK television show The Weakest Link. Love and companionship genuinely do not have an expiration date, as the news shocked many due to both their public profiles and their age, both in their 80s. The guy behind the convoluted relationships and royal turmoil, what shaped him? In the beginning, there was Andrew Parker Bowles. On December 27, 1939, the world welcomed Andrew Parker Bowles, the first of 4 children. Derek Henry Parker Bowles was born into a long line of noblemen that included Thomas Parker, the 6th Earl of Macclesfield. The family resided in Berkshire's Donington Castle House. Being the daughter of the wealthy racehorse owner Sir Humphrey de Trafford, his mother, Anne de Trafford, was likewise quite well connected. As a child, Andrew was influenced by his family's wealth, connections to sports, and the community surrounding him. These factors would later impact his adult life. It was more than simply a birth announcement that the Times published about Andrew's christening. Instead, it seemed more like a roll call of famous faces, demonstrating the deep ties the Parker Bowles family had to the British nobility. The following individuals were named as godparents to him: his grandpa, Sir Humphrey de Trafford; William Cavendish, Marquis of Hartington, who was married to Kathleen Kick Kennedy, younger sister of U.S. President John F. Kennedy; Mary de Trafford, and Miss Swinnerton Dyer. It must have been flattering and, in a strange sense, burdensome for Andrew to have ties to European nobles, American political royalty, and established British baronets. The close relationship between Andrew's family and the Queen was further highlighted when some family friends speculated that Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, had consented to be a godparent. Even as a young boy, Andrew was always in the limelight as he grew up in these circles. In 1953, during her coronation ceremony on June 2nd, Queen Elizabeth II was officially crowned. While serving as a page to Lord Simon, who was the Lord Chancellor at the time, a youthful Andrew stood among nobles. On that auspicious day, Andrew's time spent at Westminster Abbey as a page for the coronation demonstrated the intimacy he would grow to have with the royal family. This was an ongoing position. It was obvious to all that Andrew had ties to the world of high society, ritual, and duty. The world, however, was not merely a stage for ostentation and noble titles. Even as a young boy, Andrew felt a strong pull toward the country, and he developed a deep affection for horses. He gave amateur racing a shot because of his early curiosity. He raced the Fosse in the prestigious Grand National Steeplechase in 1969. Despite his lackluster performance, he placed 11th. His presence at the competition demonstrated his unwavering dedication to athletics. It took a lot of courage and adventure for Andrew to ride in the Grand National, which is famous for its difficult jumps and unpredictable course. Andrew discovered a sense of community on the polo field in addition to the racetrack. Back then, he and Prince Charles would occasionally play together in matches, confidently guiding their horses as they chased after the ball on the perfectly maintained ground. As a hobby, playing polo with the young prince was more than that. In doing so, Andrew was able to develop a strong friendship with Charles, a tie that would eventually entwine, sometimes in tumultuous ways, with his own life. Andrew was a standout on the polo field due to his skill, leadership, and ability to make any squad laugh. Another intriguing character in the family history is Derek Paravicini, who is Andrew's nephew. Being a blind autistic savant with extraordinary musical abilities, Derek is famous all over the globe. The Parker Bowles household possessed a startling degree of depth and privilege, as Andrew's family history with Derek demonstrates. The unexpected accomplishments of the younger generation blended with his background, which was connected to the family's magnificent county holdings. How does the general public view Andrew and Camilla now that this knowledge is out there? What impact do you believe the recent revelations will have on their offspring? Let us know what you think by leaving a comment below. Please subscribe, like, and share for more content like this. On the same note, please select the video that appears next. Go ahead and enjoy it.